in the southern Mediterranean and the Middle East. They said that tribal governments and their allied militias are battling for the biggest oil reserves in Africa, and that could split Libya, adding that Libya will not necessarily come from a battle on some dividing line in the Middle East of the desert. It is going to come through a conflict over control of these incredibly valuable resources. The United Nations has been trying to mediate talks, but they were postponed again this week. PAC said there are no bargaining chips to bring the rivals to the negotiating table. Libya's internationally recognized government is based in the eastern city of Tobruk after it was forced out of the capital in August. A rival administration supported by fighters now controls Tripoli and the port city of Misrata. Security services are concerned about the growing influence in Libya of the terror group state. The group has sent a senior commander to Libya to forge alliances with militias. 3.5 years after the ouster of Muammar Gaddafi as Libya's leader, analysts said the loose coalition of rebels that spearheaded the revolution has completely splintered, and the rival militias are threatening the very future of the country.
Suez Canal. A national project. Fully financed and implemented by the Egyptians.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We're back to the debate for tonight, and President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi condemned the terrorist attack on the French weekly Charlie Hebdo that left at least 12 people dead. Al-Azhar Islamic Research Complex also strongly condemned this deplorable attack on the French magazine that occurred earlier in Paris. Well, Al-Azhar definitely is against any sort of and prohibits such criminal acts, against any sort of terrorist acts, terrorizing the peace of the people and snatching their lives. And we have with us Sheikh Hussein Eddin Alam, who is lecturer at Al-Azhar Mosque. Sheikh Hussein, thank you so much for talking to us on the daily debate for tonight. And if you would kindly highlight more about the condemnation on behalf of Al-Azhar. There was a statement. Tell us more about the message inside the content. Sir.
Yes, thank you so much for calling me. First of all, we would like to extend our wholehearted condolences for the French people, and especially the family members and the loved ones of all the victims, and without any distinction among all of them. Definitely, Al-Azhar vehemently condemns the brutal gun attack on the offices of the French satirical magazine Charlie Hebdo, which sadly left 12 people dead and others injured. So again, we repeatedly emphasize that any attacks committed in the name of religion, any religion, should cease immediately, and that the merciful teachings of Islam abhors and prohibits the killing of innocents. And we also further emphasize that terrorism, as a matter of fact, and violence has no religion whatsoever. And its deadly harm and ramifications, as a matter of fact, are not confined to a certain group or any people, but rather affects humanity at large. And we also would like to make sure that the perpetrators of such terrorist attack, as a matter of fact, should be dealt with severe punishment, and they should be treated as outcasts and criminals, not due to the affiliation or the certain religion, but because all religions came to protect the human life and the human dignity and do not secure it. And in the Quran we know that Allah clearly prohibits taking innocent lives, and that whoever kills a single human being is as if he or she has killed the entire humanity. And as for what should be our stance towards such satirical or any mocking or any ridicule works like this. As a matter of fact, making fun of the Prophet, peace be upon him, and the teachings of Islam is not something that's unprecedented. What actually happened in the Prophet's time, as the Quran states, خذ العفو وأمر بالمعروف وأعرض عن الجاهلين. And this is in chapter Al-A'raf. Allah says, take forgiveness, enjoying good, and leave alone those who do foolish things. So, so my point is, our reaction as Muslims should not be something senseless or to repel in violent acts, but our response should be with patience, with self-restraint, and constructive things that would really show what Islam really is, and in a way that really reflects the merciful and the civilized teachings of Islam.
Right, and Al-Azhar definitely had a message, an important role to play. A special conference was dedicated to counter-terrorism. Do we need to change the way our approach? Do we need a change in the religious dialogue and in the religious speech, meanwhile?
Well, this is a very important question. First of all, let me make it very clear that tackling this phenomenon of Islamophobic works, this actually will not take the acts or the initiative of one nation or one religion. All the peoples of the world, all nations, all countries, all states, on the individual level and also on the communal level and on the official level, should take action towards this. Because when it comes to hurting the feelings of people, this cannot be something that described as freedom of speech. But when it comes to hurting the feelings of people and disregarding their beliefs, this is a hateful speech, and this is hate speech, and this is something also that legally should be dealt with. Of course, on our part, as we have just mentioned, Al-Azhar always actively engaged in educating Muslims, and just as I said, our stance towards such mocking and any works like this is by showing what Islam really is. Not by protests, not by burning, not by shouting, because this is what Prophet Muhammad and the companions did. The Prophet, peace be upon him, and the prophets and the messengers before him, they were also subjected to acts like this, but their reaction was not about anything that has to do with violence, but it was mainly it was about self-restraint and acting in a way that would really make the people think twice and rethink their position towards Islam. Regarding the second part that you mentioned, which is first our role at Al-Azhar, of course, the Grand Imam Professor Hamza and the board of the senior ulama or the senior scholars at Al-Azhar has been always actively engaged in renewing the Islamic discourse, that it would be in a way that really recognizes the needs of our time, and also in a way that really reflects the true essence of Islam and the teachings and the bright teachings, the right and the bright Islam.
Thank you very much, Sheikh Hussein Allam, lecturer at Al-Azhar Mosque. for your contribution to the daily debate for tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, we're discussing Libya, and today the situation in Libya has gone beyond extremes, reflecting on maybe that some would say militias are exporting terror over there. How will this affect us regionally? What is the role of Egypt? Can we help, what sort of help can the Arab countries lend to such a brotherly Arab nation? This is what we are discussing tonight, and we have honored to have with us Mr. Mohammed Kholy, renowned writer and journalist. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
We have also the pleasure to have with me Dr. Karim Hamza, Professor of International Relations. Dr. Karim, thanks for coming.
Thank you very much for inviting me.
Well, starting with you, Mr. Kholy, and the situation in Libya at this stage, definitely it reflects regionally